I'm getting on a bit now, and it probably started when I was a child, because I was a bit of a loner, so I didn't talk to people, I wrote everything down. Now when I left school I thought if you want to be a writer you've got to be a journalist. I didn't got to interview people, so I didn't do that. But later on, after having children and all this kind of thing, I was living in Liverpool.
This is the size of the egg. How big was the chicken?
Well, which came first?
Yeah.
It
could be a very big ostrich.
An ostrich. This is more akin to a huge dinosaur, I guess.
Oh, yeah,
Did the dinosaurs have life birth? No, they were eggs, weren't they? They were eggs.
Yeah. Dinosaurs
Yeah,
mostly gave birth to eggs, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And they had very different strategies for looking after those eggs. So there was everything from kind of laying them and forgetting about them. And there was a species called Myosaurus, which was known for like its maternal care. Yeah, so they actually found, like through fossil findings, they found that those used to really look after their clutch of eggs.
Interesting. I wonder if anyone nursed them with like kangaroo kind of care.
Yeah.
Right, okay everybody, so I'm going to have a little bit of a spiel. So this is the egg, it's named the Exbury egg. It's ideated and created by an artist called Stephen Turner. And I think it first originated or ideated it in 2013.
No, sorry, I was looking for a colleague. He's not here. It's okay, thank you.
You're welcome to stay anyway.
Oh, thank you very much, but I'm going to find him. So,
Yeah, so he ideated it and he had this idea of creating a wooden structure, and throughout his research he decided to create this egg shape. Because his work really focuses on the idea of nature and the natural world, and especially things like cycles and how we live within the world. And so he designed this place as both an artwork and a workspace. So while after he had made it, he decided, I'm going to just live in this place for a year. I'm just going to live in this place for a year. And you can see it all around you. There is actually no electricity in this place unless he's altered it since. There is this wood log burner, but there isn't any source of electricity. So while he was living in here for the year, he brought it to Finslegate Wharf, and the Super Slowway supported him just to stay here. And so you'll see there's the light coming in from the roof, we can call it the roof, ceiling. And so he lived by the way of the light. So when the sun came up, he woke up, did his thing, did his art in here. When the sun went down, there was nothing much he could do because there was no light. So maybe he had few candlelights for himself, bit of candlelight, but mostly he'd sleep. So he found himself, there's something in our bodies called a circadian rhythm. And our circadian rhythm is a 24-hour rhythm that we have in our bodies that generally goes with the cycle of the world, or of the daylight cycle. But in the modern world, we ruin it because we have so much artificial light. And I think that he really was able to reset that idea of him just being at one with nature. And I did speak to him about it. This was a few years later after he had completed the project. And he said that, I asked him why he ideated the egg and why he made the egg. And he said the egg is the source of all life. Oh, and he also said something which really caught me off guard, and he said his natural cousin, which is the seed. And everything comes from these two ideas, the egg and the seed. And you know what, the more I thought about it, I was like, he's really right, yeah. And especially living things, that's what he was talking about, life. You know, even, the seeds from the plants and the eggs from humans, and we've already had that whole discussion on eggs, let's not go back down there. So he said he felt a kind of a rebirth. And as I said, he felt in line with the normal rhythm. I think in the north of England, that's quite difficult because we have sometimes 16 to 18 hour days, right? And sometimes we have 16 to 18 hour nights. So there is a middle ground somewhere. It's probably in the spring and the autumn, isn't it? Find this middle ground. Yeah. Because sometimes, I lived in Scotland for a while, and sometimes I noticed it never even got dark. It was always at this this, it's twilight or something they call it, where it's just slightly light and it never ever got pitch black. So whilst he was here at Finsley Gate, what he did, you'll notice that it's in the middle of Burnley Wood, or at the top of Burnley Wood, and he invited local people just to come and have conversations. And he started asking, he used the egg as a conversation piece, just like we're doing now. I'm talking about the egg and what is. Now everybody is interested in something strange and unique like this. But then he started asking them questions like, what is home to you? What does it mean to live with another person? What does it mean to be in a place? And at first, I don't think he had great responses because the local people didn't really ever experience anything like this. This is something that you would normally find in a bigger city. But the more that they saw it, so he was here for a year, and the more that they saw it and the more they became familiar with it, they started engaging with it more and coming up and having the tea and having the coffee and be like, Stephen, what are you doing today? And so they kind of slowly felt like a kind of ownership over this area. And a really important fact is, which I haven't mentioned, is that Finsley Gate Wharf was actually closed by the Canal, not the Canal and River Trust, by British Waterways. Was that the name? British Waterways? Yeah. British Waterways, like 30 years ago, which is now the Canal and River Trust. And when Stephen placed his egg in this place, the Canal and River Trust really saw that, and he got massive lottery grant. I think I've got the figure in here, which I will go. But so all of Finsley Gate was open again. So all of Finsley Gate Wharf that you see, all started from the egg, and I find that quite impactful. And you know what? A lot of people don't realise that this thing here is what started the regeneration of everything else. And now we have that little fort in there, where it's a metal workshop. If you go in there, you can watch the guy making fences and benches and stuff like that. They've got the pub over here, and even the Super Slowway, they did their 10-year anniversary here, so it became a hub for people again. So I'm gonna just give a little bit of a spiel because I did do a lot of research on it, and I found this really impactful quote, because the impact of the egg cannot be understated. And I want to say that it's like a small art project, something that Stephen designed more than 10 years ago, has such a relevant impact into regenerating a place. So there are many outcomes, such as people becoming like ambassadors for their egg, people taking ownership, cleaning up the canal, cleaning up this place, opening it for people. But even the possibility of me coming here today, this wouldn't be possible without, first of all, Stephen creating the egg, the Super Slowway facilitating it all, and all of the money that came in from the National Lottery grants and the Heritage grants to open Finley Gate Wharf. And so I came across this quote and I really liked it. It should be emphasized that one of the major achievements of the egg was to mobilize human cultural capital. The relationships, enthusiasm, talent and capacity to care for the environment in a community that had beforehand benefited from little cultural investment and therefore had low expectations and confidence in their capacity to bring about improvement. It raised levels of local interest and a sense of ownership of their canal, and their continued involvement should be a major plank of regeneration plans going forward. The awareness brought so much activity to the area, it culminated in the Canal and River Trust's generous donation of £2.9 million in 2021 towards the regeneration of Finsley Gate Wharf. And this all goes to show that that developing and repurposing already permanent structures such as what Finley Gate was, and making them for current cultural activity, can bring communities together to connect, to play, to socialise, and more importantly, to be seen and to enjoy the cultures that they themselves create. And I think that is everything that we can say about the egg. And lastly, if anybody wants to know more about the egg, Stephen does have a book. It's called Everything. I think it's called Everything from the Egg. Everything from the Egg, which is the idea that he has, everything comes from the egg. And there are a couple of documentaries and things online. But please be free to ask any questions. If I can answer them, I will try. Right, but this is just one of the projects that is regenerating the canal. As I said before, the Super Slowway are the ones that facilitated this, and they have a project that they run from Barrowford, Barnoldswick maybe. I think it's from Barrowford all to Blackburn, and they have an idea to make a linear park. It's called the Pennine Linear Park Project. So they want to make all of this area from Barrowford, the Canalway especially, hubs of cultural community places. And I think they've done so much work. I myself personally have been working alongside the Super Slowway for about 3 years now, and I've just seen them just bring some. I mean, even Liz outside, she's not here at the moment, but Scott and Liz, they're doing a small radio project with the canal where they got a canal boat and regenerated it into a floating radio. It's called the Drift Radio. And they have another canal boat which they regenerated into, it was like a handmade, I mean all of these things are made by artists and architects and things like that, and they made a canal boat, they repurposed it as a floating library.
Yes.
Yeah, there's zero scribendi.
Small bells rings.
Yeah, small bells rings, yeah. And these are just a couple of projects. If you look at what the Super Slowway are doing, in Blackburn or in Bristol, they have a field, it's a flax field.
Yes.
And for 3 years they grew flax from the seed. Sorry, I'm going to keep talking about the seed, yeah, but they grew flax from the seed. For 3 years it took them, and they made clothes from them, I don't know the processes of making clothes and stuff like that, but yeah, it was a huge project for them, and there are hundreds of projects that they're doing, so thank you. Does anybody have any questions or want to say anything?
I was involved in the Flax project.
Were you, right? Yes.
Because I'm part of the local Spinners, Weavers and Dyers Guild, and we were approached by Usman from the Super Slowway to help them spin all this flax that they've harvested.
Do you know, I like that because the Super Slowway actively look for people and approach people and say, look, we have this project, would you like to be involved? Would you like to be involved? In a way, I kind of put my feelers out to the Super Slowway, and as soon as they found out who I was, they kept calling me. They was like, yes, let's try this together, let's try that together. And that is, and I want to say that, as I said before, that this egg was closed, but it was only because of the Super Slowway today. I emailed one of the producers and said, look, we would really like access to the egg to start my walk from the egg. And they were like, yeah, of course, AJ, here you go. You know, we would love for people to use the things that we've invested in. Because it's not a little bit of money that they've spent in this place. And I think, yeah, it has that connection, and yeah, this is our canal, and what we do in the places that we have create the communities and cultures that we have. Yeah, so thank you.
Hey,
So
shall we go for our walk?
we are going to go for a walk if you'd like to join us. Yeah. We're going to go from here to Compton Park, yeah, where there is some boats that you may be able to get on.
It's rather busy down there. 'Cause
Yeah,
there's a
no
family
promises.
Sunday. Yes.
Yes, that's fine. So along the way, we'll perhaps do. I've got one poem that I think we can read or do along the way.
Do you want these back now, or?
Yes, if you don't mind. Thank you.
Can I, while we're doing that, can I just say that this is all part of the Burnley Words Festival, which is happening this weekend. So we're really thrilled you're with us. Keep in touch with our website because there's things happening throughout the year. This is the wordy weekend, but other things will be happening. All of our things that we're doing for the Burnley Words Festival, or most things, are they're free tickets, but pay what you decide. If you're happy to make a donation, that would be most welcome. And I have the capacity to take donations at the end of the walk if that's what you'd like to do. I can do cards or cash or a QR code for you to manage yourselves. So
Blood.
that's the
Or a bit of blood.
or a bit of blood. Yes, yes. Pound of flesh.
I was only sure. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much. Look at the heron, look how beautiful it is. Why did it just poo? Oh, look at it. And now he's on the canal.
Please, isn't it? I mean, it's like 20 years ago.
It's clean. Yeah.
You couldn't see the bottom of that.
Yeah. Do you know what? There is a lots of clean-up projects that have happened in the canal. There's this company. I think I don't know what they're called, but they do magnet fishing all the way along here. They've taken all the metals out, everything. You know, they've spent a long time doing that. I think they've pulled a few bombs out of it as well.
Oh really?
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder what the pipe is. No, we don't actually realise how much life lives on the canal, though. Yeah, because it's so much. Yeah.
Teeming with wildlife, really.
Thank you for joining us as well.
Yeah, I'm interested in all these flowers that grow along here, because it's a garden. And all these have been planted, I think, haven't they?
Perhaps, maybe you can teach me, because I'm not that educated in plant lives, and what I'm trying to learn at the moment are trees. Yeah. And you know, you need to sometimes know these things, and then it informs your writing and it informs your life.
Usually so stuff has been planted because it's regular.
So we will stop at the culvert there. That does just morning's finds, yeah?
Yeah. I can't believe the effort it must take to drag this.
I know, to drag it up here and put it in.
Drag it out of there.
Yeah, that's what we mean, the original people.
Yeah. I think
It's like the brand new pull that off.
Well, yeah, they have put some weird stuff up. And the thing where they threw it back in a similar place, and it's called
I was going to talk about. Yeah, so this is like a small mural. And actually, it was the first audience cinema that was built in 1937. So that's quite old for a cinema in Burnley in 1937. So this is just, I don't actually know who made it, but what they should do is clean it up. Thank you very much. And you know what? Because this is part of our history and part of our culture. And I think when people see things like this, I think it gives them again that ownership that we talked about. So I really like it because it is a complete view of Burnley. I don't think you have, especially just where Tesco is there, you do get a better look over what Burnley is. But this is the Canal and the Rivers responsibility. The Canal and Rivers responsibility is to take care of these towpaths and things that they put in.
I was saying all them tiles were there about a year ago. That's about a year since it's something stolen. Probably they were nice before on the back of the wall, aren't they?
Well, they're worth it, that's why it's stolen. So what do I have to get them out? It won't take it.
Yeah.
Trouble with all public assets.
I mean, they're all good about, let's do it. But then they forget about it because they moved on to the next project. But as long
They're like cells on a film strip.
You're right, thank you. So one thing I really like about this place, do you know what? It's a little bit, I think they've overgrown a little bit now. But one thing I did like about this place, right over there where the trees are blocking up the view, is the season drinking tree. It's literally right over there.
You can't see it.
Yeah, can I see it? Can you see it? Oh, perfect. So everybody can come here and you can see just that little tip there. So if you take it from here, you see the gap between the trees, and you see the point of the hill. Right on the So it's just like a little thing. And the opposite, which the trees are in the way again, because I think it should shut it down there. Can you see it? Actually, when I came before last time, the trees weren't as much the last time I ever kind of hill there.
Walk away to the right,
And I thought that's such a great kind of expanse for Pendle and Burnley. So, sorry to put everybody on the spot. But I have a small poem that was I don't want to read it myself. I will read it myself, but there's quite a lot of it, so I will read it as a poem. Perhaps we can just get I don't want to volunteer anybody that doesn't want to read it. Is there anybody that doesn't want to read at all? To let everybody know, is a tanker poem. There's 21 of them. Right? A tanker poem is a Japanese form of poetry where it was 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables, 7, 7. So it's a very measured poem. Right? And this poem takes us along a journey on a canal boat through the canal. It starts at Ridley Marina, and to be honest, I did fictionalize it a little bit so I can get extra things in, if that makes sense, because I wanted to fit as much as I could about the canal into the poem. I shall finish it. Unless we'll just go around again. Yeah. Okay, so the title is where we are in the journey, right? And you'll notice there's lots of bridges, and it's basically I tried to make every point a bridge, and you'll notice the numbers on the bridges. I kind of had to represent them. If you have an A on your bridge, it does say it in one of the poems, but the A's in a bridge number means that this bridge was built after the original bridge. So any A is an addition, as I've written it. So we start at Ridley Marina. Morning, spring rings, the funerals already tiller pulling to steady the weight, steadying themselves.
Glance starboard to port, seated stern, firm guide to port, match billow, lights blink, stern churns, motors roar, breath of life with a wide berth. Do you want us to read it out?
It's in Italian. Okay.
135
Big jump through.
mothering the tree like death.
Tenacious root, uprooting a red brick wall. Two bark growing out, like two arms of nature, held hands out of the water.
Lock. Open the floodgates. 500,000 litres spilled downhill, cascade into the canal. The boat plunged backwards like a hummingbird.
Lock 50, top lock. Top gate to balance beam. Lock ladder to towpath. Windlass spindle turns like a mill. Click clack, to the top. Tick, slowly it fills.
Bridge 142A M65 bridge. Waterway over, motorway lorries below. Running little line, overwhelming, overflowing. Bridge 143 Silver halo. Water lighting up to see the movements of boats. Magnifies bumblebees, birds.
Sorry to put you all under pressure to read that poem, but I think it's nice to have a communal reading of a singular poem. And I know some of it might not make sense to you. This is a very way over the water. So the canal, if you carry on going that way, about 2 miles, the canal actually goes over the motorway. And when I was passing the canal and I saw the cars below me, I was blown away. I was like, I never canal level all of the way. So no matter how the land goes, it doesn't dip down unless you get to a lock, right? Unless you get to a lock. And I don't know if anybody knows how a lock works. Kind of. So you bring your boat into a lock and it's really low with water, and the lock in front of you is full of water. You slowly empty all of that water into the lock grid, and it makes you rise even high enough to go into the next one. In Barrow there are 6 locks, which is why there's a line in here that says 3 miles per hour. That's the speed limit of the canal, right? A boat does not go faster than 3 miles an hour. I mean, we could walk faster than that, right? But there is so much in that little poem that I tried to include about the journey, and especially having that real world place, all of the places mentioned. So thank you for your reading today. Thank you so much.
So it fits in with all that words theme. So it's storytelling in a boat. So
Yeah, so thank you everyone for joining on the walk. I hope that you have. Please ask me questions if you want to ask me anything about the poem, about the canal itself. I mean, I've got lots of tidbits of information that I've gathered over the years. I just want to talk to you about this, which is where the poem that came from earlier. This is my first collection of poems. It's called Full Nelson. It's about me growing up in Nelson, but it's not really about me. It's about the place of Nelson and Burnley and Lancashire in general. It starts with something like "You are here." It does go along the canal. One thing that I didn't talk about was the breach of the canal in 2021. There was a small hole that came into the bottom basin of the canal, and all of the water leaked out within half a day, and that's like billions of litres. It was like an insane amount of figure, and the Canal and River Trust came out within a day, put everything there and cleared it up. But yeah, this goes along the canal, and then it just talks a little bit about the industrial history, like our cotton industry. So that's a weaving shuttle, and that one there, that is the Burnley singing ringing tree. But yeah, it's a very measured poem. So I'll finish with this poem here. That will be the poem that I will finish on. It's called The Workers' Camp. the workers' town. To the charcoal burners, the loom weavers and cloggers, not afraid to roll up their sleeves. To the wheelwrights, the sheet metal and foundry factory workers, not afraid to give their elbows some grease. To the narrowboat families, the lone skippers and the big boat dwellers, not afraid to wet their socks. To the refuse collectors, the early rising bakers and the coal miners, not afraid to give their darkest hours. To the people of this town that matter, that chatter, natter, mad as hatters, not afraid to give their all. We owe you every inch of the floor that you have spread out at our feet, and so we tread carefully. Thank you. Yeah, so that's what the collection was. It was a dedication to Nelson, and then especially the people that built Nelson. Going back to the idea of the egg again, we have the power to make things, cultural institutions, to make a difference in that area. It's our responsibility. It's our responsibility. And what we do first and foremost will start getting supported by other people. Yeah. So thank you everyone for joining me today.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay.
Can we buy your book?
Yes, they are £7 each. You can have them for £5 if you'd like. They are traditionally published by a local publisher called Pendle Press. Yeah. I'm just going to say again, it's an excellent book. It's very measured and very purposeful. It's very purposeful.
Fantastic.
But
Thank
please do have a look at the boats. Yeah.
Yeah.
The crossings. Yeah.
you. Yes.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
We also have,
Is that okay for you?
if you would fill in one of our lovely little red forms, that would be very much appreciated. I've got plenty of pens. I also have,
That'll be the same, but it won't be any different with it, so we're alright.
yes.
Stick with that.
If anybody is happy to make a donation to the festival, you can put money in here, you can scan this QR code and do it, or I can take card payments on my phone. But it's entirely up to you.
No, I kept looking at them and then going, oh, but I haven't got any money.
Oh, thank you, Holly.
Me neither. I don't have any money.
Oh, no, well, yes.
I'm collecting them from the books that I've.
Awesome. Thank you. You know,
No,
if we fill this card, we'll get double emails, will there?
No.
Everybody just said
No, it's fine. The system's very good at sorting out the emails. Yes.
She's a writer about, she writes about spirituality and death, which sounds a very tricky subject. She quite likes doing it.
It's a very tricky subject, but it's well, the death part. We're all gonna.
Yeah,
all getting
well,
there,
yeah, but it's from
right,
experience. Things that she's lived through and such like. So she loves a bit of poetry as well. So she'll enjoy it. Oh, you've got one.
We ended up.
Me, my brother, and my little sister, and there were two other little girls. A 10-year-old with a 7-year-old girl. The father of the two little girls was the last person to get into the boat,